Today I'm going to tell you about the apartment that we're building in this barn, so stay tuned. This video is brought to you by the LUBE Shuttle and all the other fine products located in the Tractor Mike Fun Store. Use the link in the description to click into the Mike store that has some of the most fun and creative products that are available for tractor lovers today. Hi, this is Paul from CountryCraziness.com. If you're interested in post-frame construction, tractors, and homesteading, well, you've come to a good place. Why not subscribe, tap the bell, and join in the conversation. COVID-19 has wreaked havoc in just about everybody's life, including ours. We wanted to build at least one of our houses on this property this year, and because of COVID, we're unable to do that. But we did have the idea that we can put an apartment into this barn right here and make some progress. So today I'm going to show you what we're doing, what our plans are, what we've done right, what we've done wrong and could take corrective action on, and what the costs are going to be to put this whole project together. Okay, so here's a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Here's what the outside of the barn looks like in the front of the barn. And down below here, we're going to be putting a sidewalk in of concrete. And then this comes down to our porch, which is 10 feet by 40 feet. This slab's going to be poured in November or October. And the cost for the walk and the slab is $2,500. In this area of the country, that's a good price. So let's go inside and we'll talk about it more. And this is where we're going to be locating the apartment. It's going to extend out over that door that you see in the distance there. And if I can move the camera a little bit, it's going to be an L-shaped floor design. And I'll put a chart of what that's going to look like, but it's going to jut out over that door at that end, and then the L is going to come in closer. And when it gets down to this side, we've got the 10-foot garage door. So what we're going to do is we're going to locate a stairway right here that will go up, and there'll be a landing. And then at the landing, you'll turn, and there'll be an exterior door located that turns in towards the apartment. That exterior door that we're going to put in is going to be there for the purpose of keeping out bugs, keeping out the cold weather from the barn if that's going to be heated or air conditioned during any time during the year. This is what the back of the building looks like. And to the right of that overhead door, we're going to build another stairway that'll go up above that man door, and there'll be a deck up there that'll be about 10 by 12, and there'll be a door going to the upstairs and an exterior entrance to the apartment. So you won't have to go into the barn at all in order to be able to access the apartment. Now, one of the things that we thought was extremely important when putting this apartment in is we wanted to have a door that you could get out of directly from the apartment and use as a fire escape. How ironic it would be if someone died in their apartment because they couldn't get out because the interior stairway was blocked. Be pretty ironic considering there's 7 doors in the barn. If you watch this channel on a regular basis, you know the importance that I place on planning, whether you're building a barn, building an apartment, developing your land, or buying a tractor. Planning is a key thing that you need to do before you build anything. And because we did some proper planning ahead of time, we accounted for the fact that someday we might want to add a mezzanine or an apartment into the barn. There's things that we did that were right when we planned this barn, and one big thing that we didn't do when we planned the barn that will cause us some extra labor and drive the cost up on building it. Let me show you what that is first. One of the big mistakes that we made that could have saved us a lot of time and labor was if we'd gone ahead in the beginning and located where posts would be, if we put a mezzanine in and then laid a foundation for where those posts were going to be. This concrete slab is 4 inches thick and it's reinforced, but it is not good enough to be able just to put a bracket down and then put the posts down inside the bracket. In this case, we're going to have to saw cut an area wherever we're going to place a post, then auger it down 4 feet, drop the post in, backfill it, and then grout it back in. This is going to be a lot more time consuming and costly than if we'd just taken the time to put forms in ahead of time and put footers in those spots where we're going to have the posts located. Fortunately, when we built the barn, we did a lot more things right than wrong. And the most important thing was building the barn with a 16-foot ceiling. With a 16-foot ceiling, we're able to create a mezzanine that allows us to stand underneath it and up above in the apartment with plenty of headroom. The other thing that we did that was really smart was we located the windows up high on the building. Now initially we did that for two reasons. One, it gives us better ambient lighting inside the barn because it's shining the light in at a better angle. Two, it gave us the ability to have less chance of theft because people can't look inside the barn and see what's in here that they might find tempting. And now number three, by enclosing the mezzanine into an apartment, we have windows up there automatically and don't have to do any more exterior modifications to the building. Now to give you an idea of what's going to happen when they do the work is they're actually going to remove the paneling up along the wall up here, and then they'll take the metal that's there and they'll mount it on the outside of the studded wall that will be the outside of the apartment. That way we'll have that same metal look going out throughout the entire barn, and then the interior will finish out the walls with drywall or with wood planking or however we decide that we want to finish it. The next thing that we did that I think is pretty smart was that we ran the electrical ahead of time, not only for the time that we were putting the electrical in, but also for the future, because in this case now we've got 3/4 inch conduit running over here. It's supplying some circuits that will be in the lower part of the barn, but we've also provided conduit coming down so that we can feed into the apartment and run circuits out there as we need to. The third thing that we did that was pretty smart was that we went ahead and roughed in the plumbing for electric to go out to the well that has to be dug, for the water line that has to go out to the well, and we've got all the plumbing stubbed in for the septic system also. So what'll happen is we'll take and connect this plumbing up here. We'll locate the bathroom right in this corner. So when you come into the door from the outside, the bathroom will be right on your side there. So if you've got guests or somebody visiting, they can get in and use the bathroom without dirtying everything else up. You know, the beauty of post frame construction is that you have these wide open spanses to work with. Once this apartment's in place, it'll be a totally open floor plan. So it can be finished off any way that we want to do it. Now we know that we're going to wall off the bathroom, that's pretty obvious. But probably the rest of it may stay open altogether, and that's good. Or if you were going to do something like this yourself, you could also make temporary partitions, and you could try moving those partitions around in different places until you got the rooms configured the way you want at the exact size that you want, and then you can simply nail them in place once you're done playing around with it. One of the things that we thought about was how can we justify the expense of putting one of these things in? Well, there's a lot of different ways it can be used. It can be used for temperature, humidity controlled storage. It can be used as an office. It could be used as a studio. It could be used as a work area for a craftsman. It can be used as an Airbnb unit. If we build a party center out here, it could be the honeymoon headquarters for the couple the first night after the reception. And it can be a vacation property and a place for us to visit and have a long-term stay before we build our permanent housing on the property. So let's take a look at the cost breakdown. The cost for putting the exterior deck and the stairway going down the back is about $7,000. The cost to do the interior work is going to be about $16,000. But there's things that aren't included in that price. One, there's no septic system. B, there's no well yet. C, there's no fixtures inside of the apartment, toilet, sink, all those kind of things that are going to be permanent fixtures in there. And the walls aren't finished off. That's something that we're going to do ourselves. But all in all, this can be a way to take an existing building that you have and create some valuable living space for you in the short term and also in the long term. If you have any questions, leave your comments down below and I'll try to answer any of your questions. And if you've had experience building this type of thing in your barn or mezzanines, leave your comments and give us your feedback down below.